Once There Was Maria, Thi Maria is a film directed by Sharad Raj. Rajesh Shah is the cinematographer. Shobit Jain, the editor. Music is by Kedar, Awati and Ravi, Vedant. A note on Sharad Raj's biography is given in the description section of this video. Now, Ek Thi Maria has nothing to do with Ek the Tiger. मतलब उससे कोई मतलब नहीं. And I will be talking about the film, but a lot more about other things emerging from the review that stand on their own. So this is a discursive review. Let's see how far can we take it. Now, based on a small episode of Fyodor Dostovesky's classic novel The Idiot, the part about an ostracized girl, the central character Myshkin, meets in the hills, it lets us take a glimpse of the quote-unquote story of that girl, of course in an Indian setting, of what happened to her. Yes, away from the dazzling utopia of free porn, 20-second Facebook and Insta reels exuding glamour, where the best sites of the world, of everything, are available at the click of a button. There is a dream-like or romantic in that idea, a girl in the hills. How many of us have thought about meeting someone like that? In fact, quite a few of us might have memories of such fleeting encounters. But, and this is crucial, have we stopped beyond a day or two to consider the story behind the beauty, or the beauty behind the story? What is the life of that Himachali girl tending to her father's tea shop in Kedar, or the mystery behind the shy glances of a Kashmiri girl you saw in Gulmarg sipping the Kashmiri kahwa all by herself, strapped against the snow like an image of a bygone era? Or that girl in Goa, where maybe the type of music that opens Once There Was Maria still plays. No, I don't think that type of music still plays in Goa.
1500 लूंगी यहाँ से दूर डरता है.
Perhaps it is because this film was made in 1993. The director, Sharad Raj, had just passed out of FTII. And by the way, it's not a diploma film. So, coming back to the context, made after 6 December 1992, the Babri Masjid demolition, and the 12th March 1993 bomb blast, the film does not carry any obvious references to the events, except, of course, the actor Irfan. Yes, the Irfan who, after passing out from NSD, used to come to Pune FTII to act in diploma films. But it was not just Sharad Raj's meeting with Irfan in FTII that might have made the director cast the actor. Irfan and his wife were caught in the Mumbai riots immediately after the Babri Masjid demolition. And Sharad Raj lived literally next to them in Juhu. One day, at the height of the riots, Sharad Raj saw Irfan dragging his scooter and his wife Sutapa behind him. And then Sharad Raj learned that he has been dragging the scooter from Andheri. A police guy had actually asked Irfan to do that because he, a Muslim, was married to a Hindu. Ideas and subconscious images in a director's mind move in subtle ways. I would like to draw a connection, however tenuous, between Sharad Raj and Irfan that resulted in a film like this. At that time, the times had made us numb. Once There Was Maria was not released back then, of course, but these are some of the critical liberties you can take in a video interview. So imagine the early 90s, numbing times, and here was a film. If we had seen it then, it would have whispered to us in slow pace about a girl, but then the camera would have stayed on her face in the sparse manner for a bit too long, to the point where romanticism would have melted away, and the audience would have realized that the filmmaker is testing his or her patience. And this is a moment when the viewer would be detached from the film. It is the distancing effect, the V effect, a device where the audience is no longer susceptible to emotional manipulation through smooth transitions or an obvious exploitative show of a breakdown of emotions, like someone crying or beating one's chest about oppression. On the contrary, the deliberate, slow, austere pace gets the audience more interested in the character, its suppressed emotions, by observing patiently the surroundings, the way characters talk or behave or comment in a staccato style. It brings to the fore a world that is not right, where a girl is ostracized just because she's stifled in her surroundings. She feels suffocated in the way she has to carry forward the tradition of her family, something which her mother did all her life. Sharad Raj films the nameless town, the judgmental people, the whole alienation of Maria from her surroundings by sticking to long pauses, the faces, and terse dialogues. So, alienation is not just a theme, it becomes a cinematic device. It is like the film's content becomes the form of the film, and the form becomes the content. The people of the town are never shown berating or harassing Maria. Stoic, frugal images show them getting distant from her. That's it. But Ek Thi Maria, or Once There Was Maria, has come to us now in 2022. After Sharad Raj made films later, the most notable being Ek Betuke Aadmi Ki Afraha Tha, matlab kya baat hai. And this film combines two short stories of Dostoevsky with a short story of Munshi Premchand. Maybe, someone up there wants us to see the film right now, when that numbness of 92-93 has returned with a much more cruel energy. Or maybe someone up there wants us to discuss Brecht and the epic school of aesthetics that Sharad Raj's film follows. Now, this school liberates the film form from film subject, the cinematic gesture from cinematic structure, the particular from the whole. Brechtian take on art and aesthetics forced the viewer to think by introducing entertainment in something grim or grimness in entertainment. Now, Brechtian aesthetics has almost become a cliche, with Hollywood creating genres like black comedy or action comedy or even dramatic romance. The mixing and explosion of genres that the ultimate Brechtian, the French filmmaker Godard, prophesied with his experimental films in the 1960s. Believe it or not, films like Taxi Driver or Scarface or Raging Bull or even Top Gun or the latest Robert Pattinson Batman, where all rules of a superhero comic film are turned upside down. The superhero acquires dark shades would not have been possible without the Godardian experiments of 1960s, done in the backdrop of the French student uprising of 1960s, which almost toppled de Gaulle. Would introduce a sequence of the romantic musical played by the same characters, say in a gangster film, or a long political instruction manual in a romantic interview. In Ek Thi Maria, the protagonist, essayed by Sudipta Bhadwar with stoic precision, escapes for a few days with a lover, played by a boyish and mischievous Irfan. She leaves the world where her grandmother needed care and the town expected her to maybe spend a life like that and marry someone who could have lived with her in those very circumstances. Maria escapes but then comes back. In between, she breaks the fourth wall, not in the sense of speaking to the audience directly, but walking, doing her course, while talking, not to herself but the audience. She justifies her loneliness, her getting caught in the spiral of boredom and moral uprightness that traps her individuality. And at one point, Maria steps out of character and tells the audience, आप सोच रहे होंगे कि, yes, आप सोच रहे होंगे कि मैं ऐसी क्यों हूं या मेरी परिस्थितियां, she goes on. At this point, you realize that writer-director Sharad Raj has casually inserted a didactic piece, a virtual speech, making Maria comment on her own situation, alienating the audience from pitying her. This is very important. Alienating the audience from pitying her and bringing larger issues of an individual's place and space in tight social norms to the fore. There is a very, very popular serial, House of Cards, where also the main character, Robin Wright, played by Robin Wright, Kevin Spacey's wife, she breaks the fourth wall also. So imagine a popular series like House of Cards employing Brechtian techniques, and of course Sharad Raj doing it many, decades before House of Cards. Anyway, earlier I commented on how people of the town are not shown as oppressing Maria directly. The form of the film is such that you cannot help observing the ostracizing. At the same time, when the director invests so much on emptiness and silences, you feel the He also brings in words, a lot of them, rendered in monosyllables. Some mouthed by Raghubir Yadav, who plays the observer sympathetic to Maria. And these words, they resemble at these dialogues in tone, terror, and brevity, the heaviness and the वजन of the Hindi language, they bring to mind some hard-boiled dialogues of Mughal Azam. मतलब उस अंदाज में ऐसे one-liners कहे गए हैं monosyllables में. Maria is condemned by the local headmaster, who plays the self-appointed moral guardian of the town, only in ponderous one-liners of Shuddh Hindi. There is subtle dialectics at work here. It's very easy to identify even the alienation of Maria as one's own alienation. Now, this is the trap many filmmakers who indulge in Brechtian tropes fall into. That ultimately you start identifying with that distancing also. This is how the audience is made. But then you have to alienate the audience from the alienation itself. You have to distance or use the V effect to alienate the audience from the earlier V effect itself. So, what happens is that you start liking the lyricism of the silences, the musical interruptions. In this film, you can also start fantasizing about Maria as a possible girlfriend, the kind of mystery she exudes. But with Maria stepping out of character and the deliberately slow and hefty way the characters speak, you cannot indulge in any sentimentality or that kind of an empathizing. You realize that this is a film. And if you want to help Maria, then you have to change the conditions that produce the Marias of the world.